This is Dolany TV, ladies and gentlemen. This is now official. As of a little bit ago on Insider Trading with Pierre LeBrun and Darren Dreger on TSN, they have made it publicly known that the Edmonton Oilers are in preliminary discussions with the Arizona Coyotes, discussing a trade with Oliver Ekman-Larsson involved coming back to the Edmonton Oilers. Now, I will caution right off the top and right away, because this is the big key piece here, is it is a very, very, very complicated situation for the Edmonton Oilers should they want to trade for Oliver Ekman-Larsson out of course, the Arizona Coyotes. So let me get over to Cap Friendly and start breaking down the numbers. We'll take a look at Oliver Ekman-Larsson's numbers in a second. I know you guys are always big on the visual career numbers that I flash, but right now I just need to break down some key numbers for you, because this is the most concrete yet to date information we have that the Edmonton Oilers are looking to upgrade their defense. So let's start with the big number here, 11.256 in cap space. I believe that to be truer to $10.5 million in cap space due to Patrick Russell now being on loan in Denmark. So keep an eye on that. Somewhere between 10 to $11.3 million in cap space is what the Oilers have. Cap Friendly, of course, has it at 11.256. So then what do? How do you make this trade work? Well, let's get over to Oliver Ekman-Larsson, because this is where it gets very complicated, and of course the Arizona Coyotes and what they'd be looking for back in terms of their captain. Ekman-Larsson sitting, my goodness, going all the way. There is no UFA on the screen as far as Cap Friendly is concerned. 8.25 million from next season all the way into 2026, 2027. He's a captain in Arizona for a reason, but that contract with a no movement clause all the way to 2026, 2027, that would take him through his age 37 season, in which he would be paying 6'2", 200-pound Oliver Ekman-Larsson from Sweden, of course, $8.25 million. Where do the Oilers find $8.25 million on the blue line as it currently stands, and especially with the 11.256 in cap space? You ask me, I don't know. I couldn't tell you. That is the question. And I mean, obviously, Ken Holland has some kind of plan involved with this move if he is indeed in preliminary talks with the Arizona Coyotes about Oliver Ekman-Larsson. Now, obviously, we are a day, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 from things really getting underway. The draft is next Tuesday, round 1. The Oilers pick 14th overall. Do we see something involved with the 14th overall pick to the Arizona Coyotes for Oliver Ekman-Larsson? Do we see a draft day deal for this? I don't know. That remains the question. I honestly don't know how you pull this off. That is the really hard part about this. How do you pull off adding $8.25 million in cap space to the blue line? Sure, move Klefbom, move Larson, move Russell. You move any one of those guys, you free up $4 million, but you're still adding $4 million more to the blue line, which, guys, after you add in Ethan Bear's new contract, figure out how you're going to find the bottom 6 of the pairings going. I don't know where you find a way on this Oilers team with the limited cap space we have to add an extra $4 million to the blue line. But hey, you know what? Let's get to it. Let's discuss what you're getting for that extra $4 million on the blue line, because that, I guess, is the big number. If you're talking, oh my goodness, what are we going to do? How do you talk about this? But how do you add this all together? You need to add it all together at some point. So let's do it right here. Why is this an idea? Why is this a thing? Well, the Oilers, they need, obviously, what is a superstar on the blue line. Oliver Ekman-Larsson, probably in terms of the Oilers being linked to superstars, as close to a superstar or superstar stardom as you're going to get in this offseason if you're not getting Pietrangelo. All right? So, Oliver Ekman-Larsson started his career 19 years old, way back 2010 with the Arizona Coyotes. Of course, drafted first round, 6th overall, 2009 by those Coyotes, and then came up the following season, had 11 points in 48 games played, and then until, well, recently, he's been a 40-plus point defenseman from 2013 to 2019. That's pretty good numbers, guys. On the Oilers, that's pretty good numbers. Now, obviously, it's on the Arizona Coyotes, which is really, really impressive numbers. All right, let's just quickly, for instance, go to NHL.com and get you a season stat on the Oiler or on the Arizona Coyotes, because I really need to hammer this home. Because you'd say 44 points on the Oilers, that's pretty good. That's top tier of the Oilers defensemen. But on the Arizona Coyotes, by difference, that is an important number, because we will get a goals scored in the season. So goals for, right? That's obviously the number we're looking for. The Oilers, they did pretty good this year. 223 goals scored in 71 games. The Arizona Coyotes, where do they rank? They are all the way in 23rd with 190 goals scored. So you'd figure on an extra 33 goals scored, that's an extra potential of 33 points for an Oliver Ekman-Larsson to score. You talk about, all of a sudden playing with Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl on the number one power play. Add in Nugent Hopkins, add in Kyler Yamamoto, add in whoever you want in the top six that we have that scores goals or gets points. Suddenly it is a perfect storm to have a true, real Oliver Ekman-Larsson that we know he's capable of based on the numbers he's produced over his career. You look at the career numbers he's produced, up towards 55 points in his career, now in the late half of his prime. This is the problem. Signed through the age 37, 38 season, whatever you want to call it. Well, guys, he's in the late half of his prime. He's probably got about 4 good years left at most. We've said that about Shea Weber, and look at what Shea Weber did this season, I guess, mind you. But you know what? Right now, make hay or go home time for Oliver Ekman-Larsson. He's got his career contract. This is it. I don't think you see Oliver Ekman-Larsson signing another 8 point anything million dollar, even above $3 million after his contract ends in 2027. That doesn't seem like a reality in my books. So this is it. Time to make hay, play some good hockey, get paid, get it done. And this, of course, with the Edmonton Oilers, would be his best chance if a trade is truly pulled off. You've now been listening to me for 7.5 minutes talking about Oliver Ekman-Larsson in a trade to the Edmonton Oilers. Tyson, do you have a package for me? Do you know what it would take to get Oliver Ekman-Larsson out of Arizona in the Oilers copper and blue, on the blue line, shooting the puck and scoring goals for us? No, my friends, I do not. I could not tell you what said package takes. He's an offensive defenseman, left-hand shot. Obviously, I think Oscar Klefbom is involved, or Darnell Nurse, or somebody on the left side. Heaven forbid, Caleb Jones or Philip Broberg. But you get where I'm going. Obviously, there is potential for one of our key pieces on the left side to be dealt in a deal. Besides that, cap space. Did the Arizona Coyotes take on a James Neal to make this deal work? Obviously, a guy that scored 19 goals, Arizona scored 190 goals in 71 games last year. Yeah, they could use some more goal scoring, 100%. Well, my friends, unfortunately, do they make that work? Obviously, Oscar Klefbom, James Neal, and the first round, 14th overall, is that a package good enough to get Oliver Ekman-Larsson? I don't know. I couldn't tell you, because the thing is, as they mentioned on Insider Trading, it is a complicated situation. How do you work this? Even the Insider Trading guys, Pierre LeBrun and Darren Dreger, kind of were like, Ken Holland's got a lot of math to figure out when it comes to making an Oliver Ekman-Larsson trade, if it comes to making an Oliver Ekman-Larsson trade. So it's a mess. It's a fun one. I mean, yes, you know what? We can talk about it. He's on the decline, 30 points in 66 games. It's on Arizona. Guys, I look at this way. These numbers on the blue line for Oliver Ekman-Larsson, other than the plus minus, maybe the most useless stats in hockey when it comes to evaluating a player. And maybe we should go one last check into the stats on the dive into the deep trenches of the Corsi and the Fenwick stats. So for Oliver Ekman-Larsson, this year was an exceptionally bad year in terms of his career average in controlling and possessing the puck, or having his team possess the puck when he's on the ice. 47.8% Corsi for percentage, outside of one 2 other years. 2 other years, everything has been more than half the time his team has controlled the puck when he's on the ice. That's good. That's if you don't know fancy stats, let me just tell you. Puck more in your possession, better than puck less in your possession. All right, there we go. Simplify it, good to go. And same thing with the Fenwick percentage. And the one key thing you need to note here is kind of how you start him. Is the defensive and offensive zone start percentages here. He has been a guy that is primarily always started in the defensive zone. That's typical of him. But when he starts heavily in the defensive zone, it seems he struggles to control the puck more, which makes sense because you're playing in your own defensive zone and you got to make that first pass and all that. So obviously, yeah. Is there a potential that he struggles with the first pass? Yes. But if that first pass is to Connor McDavid or Leon Draisaitl, just make a simple one and they're going to go score you a goal. Very simple and a very, very big plus side to all of a sudden to the Oilers maybe one day, once again, have a 70-point defenseman at 30, 31, 32, Oliver Ekman-Larsson. It seems like something that would work. All right, it's something that would definitely, in theory, work. Adding a talent like Ekman-Larsson with the talents we already have, where do you find the cap space? How do you package and how do you bring him into the fold and make him a valuable piece on the blue line that can do what he's capable of in terms of scoring goals, getting assists, putting up production numbers, but also get reliable defense out of a guy that would be counted on for 20 minutes a night on your blue line if you're trading Klefbom or Darnell Nurse. Guys, that's where I'll leave you. I will let you answer those questions, and we'll get back talking about Peter Mrazek in a little bit here. I'm Tyson, this is Dolany TV Insider Trading Day. My goodness, what a good way to come home today. Preliminary talks between the Oilers and the Coyotes. I'm up on out of here.